So, looking at this kit, I began doing more research. I wanted to find out if there was any more information about the Bawoo, if there was any variations of it. And surprisingly, there was only 3 kits I found. Obviously, the prototype, which is you're looking at right now, the mass production version that you're seeing this picture right here, which is basically the same thing, same kit. The only difference is it's green instead of the red. It has the yellow trim. The shield is no longer brown; it's a darker color. Pretty much all the yellow is removed. I kind of like this pattern better than the red. And then there was actually a pink version. Look at this pink version. If I read, let me see. If I read something about this on Gundam Wiki, it's referred to as the GPB color. So I'm assuming that's from Gunpla. Could it be from Bill Fighters? I don't remember. You guys, I should do more research on that. But yeah, the pinky version looks pretty nice. But we're not going to do that. Yeah, I know. Many of you guys think I should, but no. That's why this video is referred to as the ReBawoo sleeves custom. And that's correct. I am going to turn this into the sleeves version of the Bawoo. Here's an image of what it looks like. Now, bear in mind, this is actually almost identical to the ReBawoo we just mentioned a moment ago, because the ReBawoo, this is basically the ReBawoo, because look at the front skirts and the side skirts. It's identical, almost identical to this. So at first I said, maybe not. Should I customize the skirt? But then I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to kill myself, because obviously that skirt is built into this. That feature is built into this, so I would have to probably gut the whole thing. So I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. So we'll omit this. But what I was trying to look for is what would any images of what it would look like with the sleeves arm, and here it is on this. Well, it's on the ReBawoo flyer right here that you see the little picture here. And basically it's a plow plate, I guess, that you put right over it. It's a separate piece to put the sleeves armor. And if you look at the image of the sleeves version of the Bawoo, that you don't need anything else but that. So I think I should be able to plow plate the sleeves of this kit, put it right on top of it, and that's it. I don't see anything else that is required. It's almost identical other than the skirt armor, but we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. So yeah, I'm going to turn this into the sleeves version. Paints. Now here's where everything gets a little weird, and I'll try to adjust it as best as I possibly can. So I'm going to use this called MS Deep Green. And we're going to open it up a bit to see how it looks. It's a little faded, but I'm just going to mix it up a bit. There we go. Alright. Where do you think I put that? Oh, I could use this. So let's use that. That's a good green for this. This is actually really good. Yeah, good choice for me to pick up this green. Hopefully I don't use it all. Well, I can probably use a lot of this. I may want to darken maybe want to darken it up. I probably want to give it a black base, but we'll do a test later on. But this is a good choice here. I did purchase this lighter green, but I don't see anywhere on this kit for me to use the lighter green. Instead, because the thing is that on the forearms, on the feet, and if I had an image of the back, maybe there's a different color. There's darker green for this. Fortunately, I have this Feel Green 340. Let me open it up a bit and see how it is. So just mix it up a bit. And it's almost the same thing as this one. Yeah, this is a lighter tone, while this is a little darker tone. But if I black base the parts that need it, that should darken up a little further. So okay, this is actually a good paint to use, number 340. So we got those two. Now the next up is the, what do you call it? The chest parts, which is right here. I'm gonna leave that alone. I still use like, well, see, this is where it gets a little confusing, because remember, we saw two types of parts, and fortunately the manual says, let's see, we have the dark brown, which is this, the green part, which is the mono eye, and then the black part, gray part, and dark gray part, which is dark gray, almost looks bluish. Yeah, here is a combination of intermediate blue 60%, midnight blue and blue 5% and 35%. It's interesting to turn this color. But remember this guy, Titan's Blue 1? This is almost like this. So I may decide to use this, and I believe that has something to do with the inner frames and the area around the inside of the shoulder shield, the shoulder armor. Don't know if it's also part of the weaponry as well, but I will definitely like to use this. For the gray parts, I have two types of grays. I have dark gray or German gray. Don't know how much German gray I have. I always was a fan of it. Let me see. Yeah, this ample enough. Fair enough. So we'll leave this alone. We'll leave this alone. As for the yellow, and pretty much all the yellow trim, it will be replaced with MS White. So I have all the colors here that will turn the Bawoo into the mass production Bawoo sleeves custom. I have the claw plate. Shouldn't be that difficult to make. All you need to do is just first assemble the kit, and then use the claw plate to figure out the scale and the size and put it right over the arm parts. Yes, I know I should work on the waist unit, but I could probably do it. But here's where I'm leaning on problems. I'm going to go to the page where, like right here, in page 7, this part, G2, this whole thing is part of the kit. So I don't see anything, I don't know if that part is something that has to be turned. I don't think so. Maybe it doesn't require to be turned. But I don't know what the structure integrity is if I decide to remove this, because look at this. Both of these are being held together by the ends. I can probably glue them. But then there's this part here that I guess is part of the winglet, which is not here. what page? Yeah, the winglet's right there. And this winglet is in an opposite direction. That... Where are you? This almost looks like a part from a knee. But from what? Nah, forget it. I'm going to do it the way I said before. So, mass production type sleeves custom. That's how it's going to be. That. So what do you guys think of that? Should be fun, right? So let's get started on building the ReBawoo. By the way, while I was talking about the colors I was going to use, I was trying to find... I'll put this over here. I was trying to find whether or not the shield is still brown in the sleeves version of the Bawoo, but I couldn't find any pictures of it. I have to see if I could find episode 7 of Unicorn and see the scene where the Bawoo went up against, was in battle and got destroyed, and see if it's brown. If it's brown, okay. If not, obviously I'll change up the colors. Oh, and by the way, I made a mistake. I did. I referred to this as a mold suit that came out through the Zeta series. It's actually from the Zeta Z series, which hopefully, by the way, we will be getting the version Katoki of the Zeta Z Gundam. I mentioned this before. I've had the original, the original 100 scale version, which at the time I got it at a sci-fi store in New York City known as Forbidden Planet. Oh, I used to love going to that store. This was way before buying Gundam. Well, basically way before there were Gundam model stores like there are right now. This was like, I think, back in the mid-90s. I went there one time. It was a bit of a trip because you got to take the train and then walk God knows how many blocks to go to this. And it's a big store. It's a really big store. I should do a revisit of that store. It's more of a comic book, sci-fi novel store, but of course they sell toys and things like that. I'll definitely I'd like to do a revisit. Maybe I'll plan something like that this summer. Do a little field trip, you could say. Okay, there's a lot of parts here. Now, I want to review a few things. Like, there's a lot of nice detailed parts of the seam of the panel lining here and all that stuff. And I want to try something new or different. I've been meaning to try for a while, but I want to, how can I say this? I want the seam lines or the panel lines to show a little bit more. So I'm going to try to use a scribing tool and maybe just scribe a little bit here and there just to bring it out more of the part of the seam line, so that way it shows a little bit more depth, you could say. I want to try that. I'll experiment it on maybe 1 or 2 parts, and if I feel comfortable with it, I'll move on to the next set of parts. If I feel like I'm a little bit, I don't want to ruin the part. I have all these tools and I gotta use them. Another thing. Oh, here's what I was mentioning before about this. Yeah, I could probably do it, but I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. Plus the fact that it wouldn't be right to do the side parts from the image and then not the front parts, because then I have to figure out how to do the front parts, and I don't have anything like that. I think that's the head. Yeah, I think that's the head part. Yeah. So the seam line, the panel lining, like areas like this is fine. Like over here, maybe a little difficult, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem to do that. Also, I was looking for areas where I may have to introduce some photo etch parts. I have too many of the round photo etch parts, obviously, which I used on the Ifrit. On this kit, there is no round area or connecting. Actually, let's go to the leg. Yeah, actually, there's one there, so I could probably put a photo etch parts back there. This is more of a vent thruster, so I wonder if I can put something here. I could probably drill a hole, triangle, or I'm sorry, triangle, but more of a diamond shape there. I don't see anything else around here. Plus the parts will be so dark in areas that I probably won't show. Obviously with the green it's no big deal. But around here, is this for the arm? No, the arm, no, this is the parts of the arm. Yeah, and there's a lot of vents here as well. So we have these little small parts for the trim parts of the vents. And like this part is the chest area. You have this metal part here. I mean this black part here, which will go right over it. And yet when you look at the image on the manual, you see something right there. I have an idea for that. I have an idea for that. Don't know yet for certain, but I don't know. All right, so let me begin taking these apart, and we'll begin seeing what we can do.